Riveting content. Empowering your life. Welcome to the Sphere. This episode is sponsored by Houston Housewives of Finance. For more information on increasing your cash flow, becoming your own money manager, and to schedule your complimentary personal finance strategy, contact the Houston Housewives of Finance today at 1-844-700-4463. Looking to advertise? Join the Sphere's vast demographic reach of thousands of people all over the world. Send an email today to advertise@thesphere.tv or call us at area code 832-772-7789. Elite Dental Wellness. At Elite Dental Wellness, Dr. Ashandra Batiste understands that one of the biggest obstacles is dental fear. The vision at Elite Dental Wellness is to ensure every patient is treated with respect, ultimate care, patience, and love. Call us today to make an appointment at area code 713-789-8680.
Hi, welcome back to InJustice on the Sphere TV. My name is Alicia Ford, your host. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Ali on Sphere. And today we are bringing you another great show packed and filled with information about our legal news. But more importantly, I have a guest with me here today. And it is Mr. Brandon Ball. Hi, welcome, Brandon. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. So, Brandon, you are a local area attorney. Tell me about yourself. Tell me what your practice area is. How can people find you when they need you?
I practice in Houston and surrounding areas.
Okay.
But the reality is I go all over Texas. I recently had a trial west of Waco in Bosque County. So I'm all over. I practice mainly criminal defense.
Okay.
You can find me. My website is attorneybrandonball.com, attorneybrandonball, BALL.com. My Instagram is @HoustonArrest, @HoustonArrest. And then on Facebook, facebook.com/Ball Law Firm.
All right. So, Brandon, you are helping people who may have made like a slight mistake, mismaneuver, misstep in the law, generally.
Correct.
And they need just a little bit of help. You remind me because I had a friend who hit me up and was just like, should I go to criminal court without an attorney? No.
Don't do that.
No, that is not what we do here, and that's never a good look. I don't care what it is. But what we do here on InJustice is that we talk about this legal news topics, and I think let's start with something a little heartwarming that makes me feel all warm and fuzzy. I mean, not because I really know about it, but because of what it's doing. In California, they may be able to wipe your record clean if you have been charged with a weed or marijuana related offense.
Correct.
And so basically what it's doing is that California wanted to reverse decades of marijuana convictions that can make it difficult for people to gain meaningful employment and disproportionately affect low-income minorities. What does that mean? California is seeing that what's going on around this country right now, we're legalizing marijuana, Mary Jane, whatever you want to call it. And so with that legalization, they're realizing that our prisons are filled with whom? Regular old people who happen to more than likely be, and as they say, disproportionately black, right?
Correct.
And I think it's really good that they're looking to say, hey, we're going to start, or we want to have this ability where we are, for example, in California, they said between 2006 and 2015, 500,000 people were arrested for marijuana-related convictions. As a defense attorney, give me what this means. Give me the gravity of what this means for people who have these offenses, what it can mean for the quality of life, because you deal with it on the everyday and you actually see how this affects people. Something so small because now it's legal.
Correct. I want to make it clear, federally, it's still illegal. So it's going to have to be a state-by-state thing. A lot of times people don't understand that when America was constructed, the states were given a lot of rights. And one of the rights they are given is to make their own laws. So all 50 states have their own laws. For the most part, each state have the same type of laws, even though they might call it something different.
Yes.
So, but federally, there's some federal rules. It's still illegal. Basically what this means, though, as of January 1st, 2018, coming up in about 2 weeks, recreational use of marijuana will be legal. And because of that, they're saying, hey, there's going to be a backlog of people who are going to be in jail or in prison or have convictions or have records for things that is for something that is legal now. And they want to give people an opportunity to get a better quality of life, have a better opportunity getting a job by getting something off their record, maybe have opportunity to stay in government housing, because all those things affect you.
You know, and what they said is that, but they worked to help create legalized and regulated process for legal marijuana, but they wanted to help some way, somehow repair the damages of marijuana prohibition. Now, the word prohibition reminds me of alcohol.
Correct.
You know, and it's actually where it's about the same thing. They are now realizing that, you know what? This is a substance that we really don't need to regulate which really started, as we know, with the war on drugs for the most part, not even all in still, but I would just like to say that for everybody that's been affected, I think it's important to understand what a conviction can do on your record. What does that stop you from doing?
Number one, on a basic level, it stops people from wanting to hire you, depending on the type of conviction you get. If you get, speaking for Texas, if you get what's called a straight conviction, that's on your record forever. You can't get that off. So for some people, though, it prevents them from getting a driver's license. For other people, it prevents them from getting into some type of government housing or have access to aid in some situations. Depending on the amount of marijuana, you might be looking at a felony, and then that's a whole new ball of worms, and you might not be able to vote. And
I want to say this. They also said that, and I think this was poignant, as what they pointed out. They said that certain communities have been policed for the same activities because we know that white people use drugs and sell drugs at approximately the same rate that black and brown people do, but they just don't get jailed at
Correct.
The same rate.
They don't.
And so when we look at this, I think it's definitely a step in the right direction, because a lot of what I've been hearing is that, you know, oh, you're legalizing it. What about all these people in jail? You know, and as we know, unless they specifically make a law retroactive, it's not retroactive.
Correct.
And so I think that it's commendable that they're realizing that, wait a minute, I could be in jail for carrying how much ever it is, or having or possessing whatever it is, and have this record, and now I can't carry on with my life. And that's not fair, because my other counterparts don't go to jail as much, aren't punished as harshly. And here I am stuck, you know, trying to get a minimum wage job, if I can get that, if it's an employer, and especially if it's a drug conviction, you definitely not really going to trying to get hired anywhere.
Correct.
That's about equivalent to having a theft charge on you.
It is.
And so with that said, I just think that it's commendable that California and other states are saying, we need to fix this problem, because we can't continue on forward saying, hey, we're now going to legalize this. It's great. Everybody make money. Let's have fun. But we have thousands of people sitting in jail because of this. And I just want to say, good job, California. Like, good job, California. I mean, can we legalize? Well, I'm not going to say what else we probably need to legalize, but that's for another show on another day. And it's not for today. So we're definitely going to say good job, California, and then move over to something that has been happening I think it's called the Me Too movement.
The Me Too movement.
Let me stop. It is called the Me Too movement.
It is called the Me Too
I sound
movement.
I sound like a pick-me woman. Like, I don't know why y'all women complain about these men talking nice to you. I don't, I sound like one of those. And if anybody who has been living under a rock doesn't know that the Me Too movement is basically, I've never seen anything this big in my life, but it is an outcry against sexual harassment. It is an outcry against basically sexual harassment in the workplace, wherever it is, specifically towards women.
Correct.
And also men who may have suffered from sexual harassment. So don't write in telling me that I'm being limited, because I'm not. But also about others. And I think what's so poignant about it is it's touching every single part of society.
Every part.
From Hollywood to politicians to regular news.
Sports.
To sports. I mean, to your just about anybody. Brandon, I know you're a man.
I am.
But just about any place a man dominates or is a male dominated or a male centric field, that is where it's going. But what's so interesting, and specifically in our context, is that a federal judge, Kaczynski, retired amidst allegations of this sexual harassment. And he said, I'm sorry. And he gave the standard apology. I'm sorry if what I did, which I didn't know what I was doing at the time, hurt you, but I didn't really think that you would have cared, because
his apology was better than Kevin Spacey's.
It was better than Kevin.
But it still didn't go far
but
enough.
It really didn't go far enough.
He should have just said, I apologize. That's it.
Well, no, don't start off your apology with saying, I've always had a broad sense of humor. Wait, what?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. When did we start joking?
Yeah.
I mean, specifically, when did we start joking about the fact that you either touched me inappropriately or showed me pornography?
Exactly.
It's not even per se to say, okay, great, because I think a lot of the outcry is, and I see a lot of the outcry from men, well, what can I say to a woman? Why don't you just use your mind for a second? Would what you just said, could it be said to your mother? And if your mother told you that a man said that to her, how would you feel? Like, I mean, a sister, a cousin, any close female relative that you love, if they're saying these things, how would you feel if she came home and said, this guy on the job said that to me? Oh, no. If you have to even think that you would get mad, irate, and angry, because I don't want people to mistake it to think that people are saying, hey, nice blouse. And then a woman is going,
each story we hear about, at least the stories that make it to the news or make it to the national news, it's a pretty egregious event.
Yeah.
Like in this judge's situation, 15 different women came forward. There was also a case back in 2008 where there was allegations of misconduct. In every case, for the most part, that I've seen, and at this point, it's probably over 100 different cases that we've heard about in this short period of time, they're all pretty egregious, whether it's Louis C.K. exposing himself. This judge, 15 different people, and all of them to subordinates for the most part.
Well, and I hate to say that he says, I have a candid way of speaking with male and female. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait. And then he double backs. I mean, and this, to me, I get that y'all are men, and I get it. But he double backs and says, but y'all should appreciate me that I helped form all these great legal minds that are out here for these new attorneys. I'm a step down, but thank you, and you should thank me because I was here to help shape you.
It's not his place to say that.
Yeah, it literally, that's what he ended off with. Like, you know what? I'm glad that I contributed to all these great attorneys being out there in the world. Drop mic. And so
he wanted to have his moment before he got off the stage.
And for me, what I see is that people, the only thing that I'm going to give him credit for is that he's not being one of these adamant people who, like Roy Moore, is decided, I'm going to run till I can't run no more. Or he's
and not be a distraction.
Exactly. He said, I don't want this to be a distraction from my job. And as I've been saying, and I continue to say, I feel like our federal courts are our last line of defense against our administration. I mean, they, at the most part, tend to at least block a lot or at least question a lot of what is coming out of our White House. And so I appreciate the fact that he's like, look, I don't want what's been going on in this whirlwind around to affect the judiciary. We don't need it to be discredited. I don't need that.
The lawyer in me, when I first read about this, I was thinking, okay, so he's stepping down and he's going to have to get replaced. He's in the most progressive circuit in America, the Ninth Circuit. He's out of California. And I was like, is he a Republican? Now, even though he was appointed by Reagan back in 85, he's actually a libertarian, and he's known for writing colorful opinions. But I was thinking, this gives Trump another person potentially to put on the Court of Appeals, not just the district court level. This guy's going to be on the Court of Appeals. So I was, unfortunately, in today's times, you got to think about it strategically like that as well.
You're right, and for those who don't know, these are lifetime appointments for the
Lifetime.
So these are lifetime appointments. Like,
not just
they
the
don't
Supreme
stop
Court, everybody
until they decide to either retire or die.
The only federal judges that aren't are the bankruptcy judges and the magistrate judges.
Exactly. So so what Brandon is saying is that when he's saying, hey, let's be strategic, let's be important, it's that we have to be able to stop as many of these people that Trump is able to appoint, because this is an appointed position. So he's able to take this person, cherry pick him, and say, this is whom I'd like, and that's who we're going to deal with. Especially in California. I don't know if that's going to sit too well with them people over there, because we're going to see what happens here. And like you said, you're right. But with this whole entire, and what I've been tending to see is a lot of people with these crude, I can't even talk to you. It's not about that. It's not about common interactions between men and women.
People aren't. No, well, sometimes, I do believe in a scorched earth policy when it comes to certain things. And if it comes to women feeling safe in the workplace when they step out of their home, and people have to get sacrificed in this way, so be it. Again, all the stories that we're reading about are people doing pretty egregious stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I think people have been a little callous, or being callous and cynical, saying, well, I can't say anything. Well, how about you read the individual stories? Read Louis C.K.'s story. Read Matt Lauer's story. Read this judge's story. And then make your argument. This is a far stretch from, I can't say anything to somebody.
And that is so true. And I'm just, we need to basically be a little bit more cognizant of what's going on. And I'm finally glad that this is something that is being brought to the forefront, because women in the workplace aren't going anywhere. So if anything, we're moving around a lot more. And it's no longer, hopefully, going to be just a male-centric type of situation. But what I'm going to do is let you know now that this portion of the show is sponsored by Houston Housewives of Finance. Did you know that only 4 states in the United States offer financial education? 33%, or more than 77 million of Americans, don't pay their bills on time. 39% of Americans carry credit card debt from month to month, and 39% of adults say they don't have enough savings. Don't become one of these statistics. Let Houston Housewives of Finance advise you on increasing your cash flow and becoming your own money manager by scheduling your complimentary personal financial strategy. Contact Houston Housewives of Finance today at 1-844-700-4463 or email us at info@houstonhousewivesoffinance.com. Ask how you can participate in a complimentary financial literacy workshop near you. Houston Housewives of Finance are the new faces of the new age of financial services. And with that said, Facebook Live, we are going to let you go. You can definitely subscribe to our show. Follow us with either iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, or Stitcher. We're on all of those platforms to listen to InJustice and all of the other great shows that are put on the Sphere Podcast Network. Review our shows on iTunes with constructive feedback. Share with us on Facebook Live, and post our entire show to your friends and family. And you can donate to the Sphere TV at www.thespheretv.com/donate. So you can reach us any way you can think of. That way you can get in touch with us. So thanks again, Facebook Live. We will see you next time. All right. Now, Brandon, I'm going to go somewhere else, and it's going to be basically where a federal investigation is finding that immigrants at detention centers have been treated inhumanely. Are we shocked?
Not shocked.
Are we appalled?
I am appalled.
Yeah.
I am appalled.
I am not shocked, but I am appalled. And basically, they're saying that a federal report was put out, and the findings are similar, that said that the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, which is ICE, the detainees were subject to inhumane treatment, given insufficient hygiene supplies and medical care, and provided with potentially unsafe food. I mean, and these are people with And if you don't know what ICE is, and or a detention center is where people are in the stasis of possibly going before the judge before they are a removal process from our country.
Correct.
So when you hear somebody, you get swept up, and where are you going? To a detention center, and this is where you're held.
Correct.
Before your removal process takes place from the country. And I think the problem is that we can't claim to be a great country and then treat the people that we want to leave inhumanely at the same time. I mean, when you're looking at it, I mean, it said that upon entering the facilities, detainees were housed incorrectly based on their criminal history.
Which is, to that point right there, is very, 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 very dangerous. I used to be a prison guard back when I was in college in Huntsville, Texas. And housing people at the wrong place is very dangerous. You could potentially threaten their life. You have a low-level person potentially housed with a sexual offender or somebody who is a gang member or convicted murderer. It's very dangerous. And then you have the gang situation. You potentially could put somebody in the wrong cell in the wrong housing unit that could affect their life.
And I think this is kind of where, I do believe we need immigration reform. We do need to have some kind of immigration reform policy. I do not believe that rounding up a bunch of people and throwing them out the country is actually going to be the best way to handle this. I mean, as we keep stating before and as we keep saying again, that people coming in across a border on a ship through whatever is not where we get our immigration problems. It's visa overstays. Should you be gone? Yes. Should you have went back home? Yes. Were you allowed legally in this country? Yes.
At one point.
At one point. Like, let's say, again, if you were supposed to be here until December 19th, and what is today, the 20th?
Correct.
You are now a visa overstay. You should be gone. And so that is the main point of whom is taken. And I just feel like, and a lot of this whole targeting the immigrant population who generally just come here to work, who actually provide labor for the jobs that Americans won't do. And when we say that, and a lot of people say, well, they'll do it for cheap labor and all this and all that. I'd like to think of it as two sides of a different coin, because a business will take themselves where the labor is the cheapest. They will move out of America. They will go somewhere else. They'll build a factory somewhere else where they feel that they can get a cheaper margin that will produce something bigger for them in their bottom line. So when you're thinking about it, and everybody says, well, these immigrants, and I just want them to step back for a second and realize that some of these things that you don't want to do, somebody will do, and they are doing. And it's not like they're not paying taxes.
And again, this is the argument that gets made, though. We hear a story about people being mistreated, and then it becomes a conversation about immigration. I want to just even focus on the mistreatment of people, because these people who've been mistreated, a lot of them aren't going to end up being removed. Some of them are going to be allowed to stay in America. Mm-hmm. And then what? They have to get subject to this cruel treatment, and they're going to be back. And you want them to come into America and then help into society. I would have a grudge. That's not the America I want to enter into.
For.
Yeah, that's frustrating. And I see it as a criminal defense attorney in jails and prisons that are American jails and prisons. Mistreatment in prisons and jails is nothing new. It's just a federal investigation was done.
And so I would also like to say that what they said also happened was that they would eat spoiled and moldy food.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're putting people's life at risk.
I mean, you're putting their life at risk. You're not giving them the proper medical treatment they need. Like, these are basic functions. Like, what do you want a bunch of sickly people to take care of it? I mean, and that only creates a further problem in a detention center if you don't sit there and take care of people or you make them ill. I mean,
the report said 5 facilities were investigated and 4 of them failed. Only 1 facility out of 4 passed. That means if they investigated 100, only 20% of them will probably pass.
And what's so crazy is that and this is what my personal belief about a jail, just more like also a corporation. It's a top down kind of, I want to say, atmosphere. if the person that's running that facility does not believe that this is important to run and by the standards and by the book, and we can let them slip because look at who we're housing, then everybody's going to suffer. But if you have somebody at the top, I believe, that says, hey, look, this is what I'm here to do. This is what I'm here to take care of. This is why I'm here. I'm going to make sure that I at least follow these rules to the best of my ability. You'll not see as much of this. But people let whatever it is get in the way, and we have these things where so I look at this not even just as I believe it's an institutional, systematic problem where there isn't enough regard for the people that they're caring for. They are now numbers and objectified rather than this is an entire person that we need to be thinking about.
Agreed.
And so, maybe they'll do better.
Well, I was one of the things I thought about after reading this is, what does a follow-up look like? Now, people get confused about the various agencies like this, FBI, ATF, ICE, Homeland Security. This investigation was done by a different federal agency, Homeland Security. So they ICE probably did their own internal investigations, but that was probably a little biased in their own favor.
Exactly.
How credible could that have been? So I wonder what the follow-up looks like if they still haven't fixed it. What then? Do they shut these facilities down?
No, that's not going to happen. They're probably just going to find a way to privatize them even further than they do.
Probably so.
Which is, I'm obviously in the wrong business and the wrong color. So, with that said, I'd like to let y'all know that this portion of the show is sponsored by The Sphere. Are you starting your business and looking for a place to advertise? Do you have a need to reach out to thousands of people across the world to build your brand or sell your product? If so, get your product placement and advertising needs handled right here at The Sphere. We offer a wide variety of content platforms, including iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, YouTube, and Stitcher. Plus, we have a vast demographic reach within the United States as well as modern countries across the globe. Our enriched content and inspiring dialogue coupled with your strategic ad is surely to hit the mark every time. Call us today at area code 832-772-7789 or send an email over to us at advertise@thesphere.tv. Now, I can't, and I'd be remiss if I let any part of this day go by without talking about the fact that we have had a tax overhaul.
Didn't you get your LLM?
Yeah?
Didn't you get an LLM in tax?
I did get an LLM in tax.
All right.
So, I mean,
Professor.
I could not, and I would not, I would be remiss to say that, yo, what's going on?
So what I want to know is, are you happy about it? You can be happy about it being African American. You can admit it.
Well, no, so, I mean,
Baller.
for the people, like, I'm happy that I'm happy they dropping that 28% tax rate because that's a B.
What did they drop it to? 20?
It was 24 or something like
Okay.
that. So it's either 3 or 4 points that we're going to get off of our tax rate. Great. Yay. Whatever. But I think, what they're saying is that among the changes that would come is that the corporate income tax rate, which is one of the highest in the world, which is 35%, is dropping to 21%. Let me tell you like that.
Trump is
There is
gonna feel that
almost
on
no corporation that's paying 35% tax rate. Their effective tax rate is generally in the 20s anyway.
So
like
this is even more helpful.
it's gonna drop even lower. Like their effective
They're
tax
going to be
rate,
in the teens.
It was never 30. I don't know of a corporation, a multinational corporation, that actually pays 35%. Okay. It's just their effective tax rate is not that, what their overall marginal tax rate is. So, I mean, yeah, they're saying, and they said a big part of it is that they are now, so, I mean, I will say this, like, I kind of feel what the corporations are saying though, because Uncle Sam would like to touch you wherever you go. Like, you could be outside making money, and they like to tax you if there's a reasonable nexus to that money. I mean, you're just like, well, damn, can I get a break? And so, and it's understandable, but so they're dropping that to 21%, and then the marginal tax rates to 10%, 12%, 22%, 24%, and moving onwards. And so then the bill also raises the child tax credit from $1,000 to $2,000 per child.
Now people are going to feel that instantly.
They said they're going to start, and they said that we're going to start seeing that because in February, as early as February, you're going to see your paycheck increase. Mm. So yes, we're happy One, I think the biggest problem that we have not addressed is the elephant in the room, which is trickle down economics, right? Which is saying that by slashing these tax rates, businesses are going to take this money, repatriate it back into the United States, and somehow stimulate our economy by producing jobs and everything like that for workers. Generally, with trickle down economics in this case, a business will not do that. They'll repatriate the money, they'll pay down some debt, they will probably make some dividends and start buying back their outstanding shares that are out in the market. So
that was the idea in the 80s, and we still
ended
ended up with NAFTA and stuff like that.
So when you think about it, we're supposed to be in some point, because I like to tell people all the time, a corporation is not beholden to society. It is beholden to its shareholders. It is not, it has no duty to anyone in society other than its shareholders to make them money. So what are they going to do? There are thousands of corporations in debt. I mean, trillions. So what they're going to do is they're trying to get out of debt. They're going to try to, get out of that. They're going to say, hey, look, we want more control of our companies back. We're going to do buybacks now. I mean, and so then when you think about it, that's not really helping anybody. Where have you stimulated the economy by putting more money in your shareholders' hands, which is probably the rich?
And I think, the way the studies have been showing, a couple of articles I've read, we won't see whether or not it worked for neither 5 or 6 years.
We won't know that it didn't work for another 5 or 6
And
years.
by then,
it's going to be too
likely
late.
Be a new president, new laws being passed, new rollbacks.
And so then another thing that affects that is that, for example, if you pay state and local tax, you get a federal exemption. So if your state has a state income tax, then you get a
Texas
federal,
doesn't, thank God.
Okay.
Neither does Nevada, neither does Florida or Tennessee. Theirs is funny.
And so if you have a state income tax where you pay income tax at the state, then you don't pay that federal. You get it basically a deduction at the federal level. They have now capped how much of that deduction you're going to take. Which is what if I wasn't ready? Exactly. So it's kind of like, because what you've done in essence is you're double dipping, because why, if I've already paid my state income tax, will I then have to pay again federal income tax? Like, even corporations aren't double taxed in that regard. So why would you double tax your citizen?
I'm glad they didn't touch the student loan interest stuff. I'm glad that stayed the same.
Look, they wanted to. With Sally DeVos, I'm surprised that Betsy, I can't even call the woman's name right.
Betsy don't know Vos?
Betsy don't know nothing.
Betsy don't know Vos.
So, I mean, they almost, and this is how crazy, this is how I know these people are heartless succubuses. Hey, out there, everybody that's a nerd. So,
ideate on that. Huh?
If they even were thinking about repealing a $250 teacher,
I thought that was petty.
Classroom supply credit.
I thought that was petty.
What?
I thought that was petty.
I mean, thankfully, somebody with some good sense in one of those committees was just like, wait.
You think Betsy stepped in and tried to fight against
that?
I
don't think Betsy did. I think Betsy was probably with Walmart like, look, I'm going to see if we can't get this repealed. I mean, I just feel like, first of all, why would you take these people, a teacher, I was a teacher, you work all the time.
And you use so much of your money.
Of your money, of your energy. Do you really have a day off if I got to grade your little crazy papers?
Give them that $250.
It's $250 a year.
Yeah.
I can't. That's $125 a semester.
It needs to be raised.
It really does. But are they gonna do that? No. But with that said, so it just seems like for us, and it of course repealed.
Well,
the Obamacare.
It's technically
tax penalty.
There's technically still a penalty,
but
it's just $0.
It's $0, and let me tell you, that one time that penalty hit your girl, I was like, how can I offset this with something else? Because I'm not trying. Y'all taking all my money, but what did it stimulate me to do?
Get
Some,
insurance.
and it was so crazy. I think you have a certain amount of time to be uninsured.
Correct.
And I think I was like 2 weeks over that time, and I was like, y'all tripping out here with your good selves. So I mean, they're saying that the penalty was prohibitive, and look, if people not gonna get insured, they just not gonna get insured. Like, that's it. And I think a greater problem is that our healthcare system is not going to be improved until we take some of this big pharma out of it, and some of
Because
this
it's too much money. Yeah.
and some of this lobbying in healthcare that is happening. As I keep saying, there's no reason why we're paying triple for drugs in other countries here than we would in other countries. There's no reason why I should be sitting here talking about, I'm gonna fly to Thailand and pick this up because it's cheaper.
And I just don't really see that happening. I mean,
No, it's not.
Lobbyists are the oxygen in the blood of, what I like to call the American lawmaking system. It doesn't get made without them. It's just they influence so much. Big Farm, obviously, well, really just Big Farm.
Yeah,
Big Farm is so
just,
huge.
it's really, and so for me, I'm just thinking to myself, like, I really would love it if because I equate it to the New Deal, the Great Society. Mm-hmm. Nobody was happy about that either. But look how many people depended on it. Look at how much of a staple it is in our society today. And you can't have progress. I like to say this. Growing pains are meant to feel good. But they're not meant to be butterflies and lollipops. And, and it just seems so crazy that people would like to think that everything's good until it happens to them. Everything's, I don't want it until it happens.
I deal with that
you.
when people need a lawyer.
Yeah. I'm just not gonna until you are personally affected by it. And so when you think about it, and I think about the people, for example, when you're reading this stuff, like, people are still talking about Hillary Clinton, about what she did and how that's why, dude, she's not the president. Like, leave her alone. This is what you've chosen. You've chosen a man that's patently incompetent. And now this is our president running around actually basically, and when we think about it, he is overturning anything Obama. I think he literally made a list like on your yellow pad, and they gave it to him, and they said, this is everything Obama did in his 8-year term.
He's checking off his
and
promises.
He is checking it twice, making sure he is naughty and not nice. Like,
I haven't really thought about it until I was reading some articles in preparation of this discussion, but it's kind of sad that something as important as healthcare still fell along party lines, because so 191 Dems and about 12 Republicans were against it, but all of the Democrats voted against it. Like, there's some, and same way with the Republicans. All the Republicans except 12 were for it. Until we fix that issue,
well, and I think
we're going to be in the same place no matter who the president is.
We have been more partisan than we have been,
especially since 08.
Very long,
especially since
time.
08.
And so with that partisan atmosphere, we can't get anything done because nobody is at the helm looking towards the interest of the people anymore. And you know who I blame? The people. I blame the average citizen for what is happening, because these are the people you are electing at the end of the day.
So we have the news wanting to be first instead of being right, and we have the politicians wanting to be reelected instead of even caring about what they did to get elected.
You're not even caring about your own constituents because you're worried about getting money for your next, and I get it. Power, money over power, blah, 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 whatevs. But my thing about it is, I do blame y'all citizens, all of y'all citizens who sit at home, who don't vote, who don't do anything, who sit here and let other people make your decisions for you. They want to look and somebody else and please don't open your mouth and complain, because I'm going to look at you crazy. Because when you think about it, you're the person that's giving Paul Ryans a voice. You're the person that's giving Trump a voice. Sitting here yelling at the Chinese, like, stop it, sir. And so it's kind of like, I can't really say that I'm mad at the people for doing what they gonna do, because you're letting them. You in essence are letting these people run your life in any old kind of willy-nilly fashion, then acting like you can't do anything. So I just, hey guys, let's wake up a little bit. But either way, House tax bill. It was approved.
It was approved. It was approved, and they had to do it again because there were some technicalities, and it was approved again.
And
signed by the.
I don't even know no more.
Did he sign it yet, or is he going to do a big
I think
ceremony?
he's going to sign. I don't think he has, but I haven't been up to date. I was in meetings all day, so I'm not sure.
I think he's going to do a big ceremony or something.
Whoa, I think they said he's going to give his first news press conference since February. Because why? This is huge.
I wish he gave news conferences once a week.
What is he got? I was going to say that pit bull in the skirt up there, but I am not. That is not the nice thing to say today. What is the nice thing to say is that this
36.
This portion of the show is sponsored by Elite Dental Wellness. At Elite Dental Wellness, our vision is to create a welcoming practice that will offer exceptional dental care and a lifetime of dental wellness. We are committed to the finest possible oral care and overall health and well-being of our patients. At Elite Dental Wellness, it is built upon a foundation of integrity, expertise, and service. Through our commitment to modern dentistry, continuing education, and a friendly atmosphere, we strive to make our patients feel that they are part of our family. Dentistry can be scary, daunting, and uncomfortable. Dr. Batiste and her team work tirelessly to ensure your comfort. Make your appointment today with Dr. Chandra Batiste at Elite Dental Wellness by calling 713-789-8680. Brandon, thought I had more today, but we're going to wrap it up.
Okay.
We are going to wrap it up, and we're going to tell you, thank you for coming in, and just
Thank you
give
for having
everyone, again, a synopsis of what you do and where they can reach you.
My name is Brandon Ball. I do mainly criminal defense in and around the Houston area. You can reach me on Instagram at Houston Arrest, My phone number is 832-271-0435, 832-271-0435. Website, attorneybrandonball.com.
Please do not ask your lawyer friends if you need to go to criminal court without a lawyer. Just go get Attorney Brandon Ball at attorneybrandonball.com. And what is it? What is your Instagram?
Houston Arrest.
And you know, if you've been arrested in Houston, go look for him at Houston Arrest on Instagram.
A lot of videos about the law in there trying to explain.
This man is educating you for your benefit. And it is your benefit to employ and engage him in his employment and services if you happen to run afoul with the men in blue. So with that said, we want to thank everybody again for tuning in this week to InJustice on the Sphere TV. I am your host, Alicia Ford. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at AllieOnSphere. And we are looking forward to having and seeing you again. Thank you, and we'll see you next week.